Hey guys, midweek energy check-in, second week of October 2023. Let's get into it. What are the highlights? We're coming out of some very intense energy that we had going on the 9th into the 10th of October. Pluto stationed direct in the sky, lots of black moon energy. We are still in some very black moon intensive energy Wednesday into Thursday this week. However, we're also being blessed with a beautiful Jupiter moon trine in earth signs. We may be in some scenarios, there could be some things coming up this midweek where we're sort of being pitted up against our fears. We're in a situation where we need to face our fears about something, overcome something, conquer something. If we choose to do that, if we choose to, despite whatever's bothering us, keep going and persevere through it, we're going to get some successful outcomes. This moon Jupiter trine is bringing good luck and it's bringing, positive outcomes, supportive occurrences. So facing fears pays off, and the energy on Wednesday. On Thursday, we've got a pretty palpable energetic shift going on. The second one of the week. The first one was Venus moving into the sign of Virgo. Now we have Mars leaving Libra, entering the sign of Scorpio on Thursday. Scorpio is a sign ruled by Mars. It's going to be a very strong Mars energy, but as opposed to the Aries side of the Mars coin, this is a very passionate, very intense energy, but following our gut instincts and our gut urges is definitely going to behoove us moving through this next couple of weeks now that we have Mars in the sign of Scorpio. Lots of energy to talk about midweek this week, you guys, moving us into the weekend. Let's look at it in some more detail, try to get a bigger picture of all that's playing out right now, where we're at, and what things are looking like for us as we move through this week. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, October 11th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. And if you guys stick with me till the end of the video, I have also done a collective tarot reading for us today. I like to tap the energy field for more than one modality whenever I'm looking at energy, because I'm always looking for patterns, repetitions in patterns, and the way that energy validates itself when I'm making my predictions, when I'm talking about what could be playing out. So we've got a tarot reading coming at the end as well. And I'll tell you guys also, the tarot reading for today was quite specific. It may be for like a specific couple of people out there. So if you are also interested in that, there might be messages in there for you. So that's going to be happening at the end. Let's talk about the astrology now. We're looking at astrology today for Wednesday the 11th and Thursday, October 12th. And if you guys watched really any of my videos recently, the October overview, or the new moon in Virgo video as well, or the full moon in whatever the last one was, the full moon in Aries, or the video from yesterday to start this week, they all had some of the same things to say about this specific point in time that we are in the cosmic blueprint and the unfolding of current energy. And that is that this is just a very intense and powerful week. There are likely to be just significant things happening in our experience this week that have some, it's like dominoes falling over week, and like the outcome being something that is just really shifting and changing things for us. We're in a season of endings and beginnings. We are in like the end of an era type of energy as well. Now that we have Pluto direct in the sky, preparing to finish his final few footsteps through the sign of Capricorn, moving into Aquarius, which is going to characterize a lot of our upcoming 2024 year. We've had Mars and Pluto in square. We've had Mars in the South Node in a conjunction. A lot of this has to do with relationships, you guys, and a lot of this has to do with bringing down or bringing to the end or deconstructing things that just are not working anymore. Things that cannot be salvaged, things that have run their course, things that don't want to, adjust or function in the way that they need to move forward somehow. We can't keep, universe is not allowing that type of stuff to continue to perpetuate right now. So getting on track for what we need to talk about today, we are still in some very strong black moon energy. Like I said, the black moon recently left the sign of Leo, entered the sign of Virgo, beginning a new 9-month transit, helping us to gain a greater awareness of some shadow side issues in regards to, in the sign of Virgo, any fears of failure. that we might be holding or harboring within us somehow. Now, of course, anybody who's Virgo, Pisces, strong natally, sun, moon, Chiron, black moon, stellium of planets in those signs, you guys are probably going to be feeling it the most over the course of this next 9 months while this energy plays out. But all of us on some level, in some way, are probably going to be having some fears, worries, insecurities, doubts being triggered about fears of failure in regards also to these Virgo themes, maybe like conversations or information or our understanding of things, health, well-being, you know, diet, habits, routines, our ability to bring things to some type of true fruition. This can also be very critical and judgmental and nitpicky. So we don't want to be too hard on ourselves over the course of this next 9 months whenever the black moon is being triggered, and the black moon works in polarities. So whenever the moon acts as like a trigger for planets, because the moon rules how we're feeling inside a lot of times. Our feelings translate into actions and what's happening around us. Moon is a very powerful force. And so when the moon activates by sign, either, you know, Virgo or Pisces, the sign where the black moon currently is, or the sign opposing the black moon, this is when we're likely to feel this like upkick of this black moon energy that just playing a more dominant role, okay, over the course of this 9-month transit while this energy and experience plays out, okay? And because this is our first round of this energy, Tuesday, yesterday, when Pluto stationed direct in the sky, we also had our first activation of the black moon in Virgo. But this is actually, you know, it's interesting because, to be honest with you, we're starting our black moon Virgo energy in probably some of the most like accentuated experiences of that energy that we'll probably have to go throughout the course of this entire black moon and Virgo transit. And that's because we are starting this energy like right out the gate with a black moon Saturn opposition happening between, of course, Virgo and Pisces at like 0-1 degree. The black moon, and it will be actually on Wednesday, I think it is exact at 0 degrees. The black moon's at 0 degrees of Virgo, and Saturn has retrograded back to 0 degrees of Pisces. And, you know, Saturn is also an energy, like Saturn is the judge and Saturn is the critic and the disciplinarian. Saturn like limits and controls and restricts things. Saturn has a tendency of provoking, you know, pessimism, and also just sort of like looking at the glass as half empty, you know, like a narrow-minded focus on the failures and on the weaknesses and stuff. So when we're already dealing in black moon energy that has to do with triggering fears, worries, insecurities, doubts that are going to be primarily and predominantly, okay, unconscious, subconscious, because that's what the black moon does. It's the shadow side energy. It's like what we are not able to see and acknowledge about our own reactions and ways of interacting with various aspects of experience based on like unhealed trauma or unhealed wounds within us and the causes that they have, the way that they've impacted us and the way that we respond, right, to like various experiences and circumstances and stuff. And we can get really trapped in self-sabotaging loops of emotional reactions and behaviors and attachments and stuff as a result of these unhealed traumas, or just these like you know, ingrained subconscious patterns within us that we are not even aware of. And the black moon is a very powerful influence because, you know, that which we're unaware of a lot of times actually holds a tremendous amount of power over our experience, whether we know it or not. And so this black moon energy, these, you know, these shadow side forces operating within us, again, can have a tendency of causing us to do and act and say and behave in certain ways because of things that we're not even aware of that are going on within us. And we may not even be aware that we engage in these patterns when we're triggered in these certain ways. Now, whenever the black moon is being activated, this is always the time on each month when these things are triggered, but it's also, you know, them being triggered so that universe can sort of like nudge us into perhaps gaining the awareness that they're there and what we need to do. Therefore, you know, shining the light of awareness when light is, you know, shown into into the darkness loses its power and the light grows, right? So that is the point, at least in my understanding, in terms of the black moon activations and the experiences that we deal with as a result of that. Why we're triggered by these things, you know, why we go through the just more difficult negative experiences that can be associated with black moon is to help us gain the greater understanding of this, like, silent influence operating within us, the power it's holding over how things are playing out in our life, and bringing us to a point of enhanced awareness so we can take that power back and begin to, you know, adjust our behavior so that things in our life can change and we can release ourselves from some of that stuff. Okay, so, you know, when we're dealing with black moon, like that's the whole situation. We're dealing with black moon and Virgo. Like I said, this is the fear of us, like, boiling it all down, failure in our ability to produce in some capacity or another. But then when we put the black moon up against Saturn, I mean, this is like the utmost and lack of compatibility, okay, first of all, between planetary bodies. Saturn and the black moon are never going to come to the same. They're just two totally different frequencies and vibrations, yet both of them can sort of like hyper accentuate this, just, and with the moon in Virgo as well, you know, these fears, these worries, these insecurities, these doubts, these like victim states, any weaknesses that we're holding. It can feel like something that we can't conquer or something that we can't overcome. However, like I said, we do have some other energy playing out on Wednesday that is suggesting just the opposite, okay? We do have this very strong black moon influence going on, especially with the opposition to Saturn. However, we also have a Virgo moon, which we know because that's the reason why this black moon energy is being activated. But the black moon in Virgo, or no, the moon in Virgo is forming a trine to Jupiter in Taurus. Moon trine Jupiter, this is actually one of the most like lucky, positive, and with the moon in Virgo and the Taurus, this earth sign energy, also productive aspects, you know, in astrology. So this is good luck, you know. Yeah, we may be up against some really hard stuff that we like don't want to face, or is making us doubt ourselves, or, you know, feelings of strong anxiety or strong doubt that are kind of overtaking us. But with the moon in the trine to Jupiter in this earth sign energy, if we are like taking the action to go forth anyways, okay, this is going to be productive meetings, conversations, like work groups. The job's going to go well. Whatever it is that we're up against, it's going to be productive. It's going to be successful. It's going to be fruitful for us somehow. We're going to be able to get the job done, and we're going to ultimately feel good, okay, about the progress that we made, or about whatever it was that we were able to execute on and complete in this energy, despite maybe these fears that had been nagging us the entire time throughout the process. So it's actually a day about facing and overcoming fears. And it makes sense. That also makes sense because, again, if you guys watched some of my previous videos about the greater context of how energy is coming together this month, by the time we reach the end of the month of October, we're going to be feeling much stronger and much more confident and like much more brave and courageous and motivated, and like we can move forward, like we have it within us, like nothing can really stand in our way. You know what I mean? And this aspect of things, how energy is coming together, you know, the end of this week, moving towards the weekend, might be some of the experiences that are sort of assisting in that process. So, you know, and with the Virgo influence, especially in terms of communications, especially in terms of conversations, any fears of authority or control systems, like these could be prominent themes right now as well. But it's a good day to take on a challenge, either, you know, within yourself, or if there's something with all this earth sign energy that you physically need to do in the world, or a conversation that you've been putting off that you like physically need to have, you're going to get good results, and it's going to make you feel better about yourself and what you're able to deal with and accomplish in the long run, okay? Now, moving on from that, we also have Mars at 29 degrees of Libra on Wednesday, about to, of course, change signs, move into Scorpio, his own sign on Thursday. Like I said earlier in my intro, Venus also changed signs this week. So once again, we have themes, patterns, repeating and suggesting shifts and changes in, you know, masculine and feminine dynamics, and therefore for in relationship dynamics generally. Venus ends her very long extended transit of Leo this week. She already moved into the sign of Virgo, and now Mars, the other side of the relationship coin, leaving Libra, her sign, and moving into Scorpio. So of course, you know, this to me, when I see Venus and Mars doing things in unison, it's bringing up relationship dynamics. Of course, we've been in a season of shifting and changing relationship dynamics with Mars in the South Node in Libra. This was all about releasing ourselves from, you know, the relationships that had defined us in the past, so that we can redefine ourselves according to the truths that are arising within us now and who we're becoming now. And then we had Mars in square to Pluto from the sign of Libra. This was also about, you know, some major changes from, or changes to, or breaks from perhaps the social groups or the, you know, social contacts or dynamics, friendship circles, relationships, financial partnerships, and stuff like that that may have defined us in the past. We've had so much varying energy going on, all really pointing in the same direction. We're also in a cycle right now where a new moon cycle that had, or maybe it was for the full moon, I don't remember exactly, but Venus was an exact square to Uranus. This is also talking about major shakeups and changes and relationship dynamics. Changes in relationship dynamics, you guys, I've been yammering on and on and on about it, I feel like, for weeks, but again, here we are, this pinnacle week of the month of October, which is the significant week in our entire 2023 year. And again, one of the major energetic focuses, Venus and Mars both changing signs, shifts happening in relationship dynamics. And, you know, with Venus transiting into the sign of Virgo, this is a much more, you know, analytical and self-contained feminine energy, Venus energy, what we want, what we desire, kind of going into hermit mode. And with Mars moving into the sign of Scorpio, this is also a very more like self-contained and behind the scenes type of energy, but very strategic, very instinctual, like, you know, I think I've mentioned a couple times so far, acting on our sort of like intuitive urges, okay, our intuitive hunches, and using our internal compass as a guide. This is probably going to be a very beneficial tool for us moving throughout the course of the next couple of months while Mars is transiting his own sign of Scorpio. So Tuesday and Wednesday this week, you guys, Mars, 29 degrees of Libra, putting the exclamation point at the end of relationship changes that need to happen. Conflicts in relationships could really be boiling up, kind of exploding as well, with Mars at this last critical degree in the sign of others, in the sign of relationships and other people. 29, you know, this degree packs a major punch. Mars, of course, is all of this energy, you know, it can go a lot of different ways, but Mars transiting Libra like this just classically it exacerbates the potential for conflicts in relationships. So while we're coming to the end of that energy, we are still on Wednesday at that last critical degree, so it could be, and especially, you know, with Pluto having gestation direct and all the black moon energy, people could be acting, and, you know, the fears coming up as well. There could be some maybe that's what it is, like conversations that we've been being afraid to have that create some type of conflict, okay, that has needed to take place because, again, something needs to come to the end somehow. But, you know, basically, to me, this is just indicating another day where relationship dynamics are probably, you know, taking a lot of our activity and our energy. Now, what's interesting though about it is that, you know, Mars moving into the sign of Scorpio, this will actually alleviate some of the tension, some of the conflict, some of the aggression that's been going on relationally, in relationships, and in how people have been relating and interacting with each other generally throughout Mars's, or as opposed to how they have been throughout the course of Mars's transit through Libra. However, it's like we're not fighting about things anymore. With Mars in the sign of Libra, this is like, you know, energy that doesn't mind getting into it, okay? We're not really like hiding from a conflict. In fact, relationships have a tendency, like I said, of being more just conflict oriented. Our experiences and relations generally with others have a tendency of being just a bit more like aggressive or assertive or conflict oriented when we've got that energy going on. But now, right, it's like we've had the fights, like we've had the conflicts. Now with Mars moving into the sign of Scorpio, we're not doing it anymore. Like we're not dealing in that anymore. Now we're actually about, right, we're ready to like take the action to do what needs to be done. Okay, this is not fighting about things anymore. This is, okay, like we've arrived at the point, and I'm going to put my energy in towards either breaking this down or building this up, but it's going to go it's going to go either way. But we're not standing in this place of limbo anymore where we're just debating and arguing and having conflicts about things. So with the Mars Scorpio energy coming through, motivated to take action to break what needs to be broken and to regenerate simultaneously from the ashes of what was, that which needs to be, or that which is, you know, as I think I said this earlier, like more pure or more powerful or more like stronger and able to like grow, move forward in the direction of things that are happening now. And we've got to remember, here's another thing, as Mars transits through Scorpio, the again, like the compulsions, okay, or what we're motivated to do, the actions we're motivated to take, the way that we're motivated to use our energy at this point in time, it's gonna have a lot to do with our Aries North node right now. And this personal journey, this leadership era that we're going through, this personal journey to like redefine the self in alignment with this greater version of self-mastery, essentially, and self-actualization, these things that I always talk about, this personal journey that we've got to fulfill throughout the course of the transit of the North node, the destiny point through, you know, through Aries, the sign of Mars, the sign of the self, is a personal mission to some type of gaining some type of self-mastery, with Chiron and Aries right now too, that's playing out over the course of this next year and a half period of time, and Mars transiting through his sign of Scorpio, okay, while the North node is also in his sign of Aries. Whatever we're doing during this transit is directly related to who we're becoming and the direction that we are growing towards, with the other sign that Mars rules in the North node energy simultaneously. Okay, so this period of time is going to actually be a lot about personal progress, despite the simultaneous you know, like I said, the things that need to be removed in order for us to sort of clear the deck and begin to build whatever is coming next somehow. Okay, so we need to remember, you know, we are still in a Sun Chiron opposition. We do have all of this Black Moon energy going on, and it's extreme Black Moon energy. Like I said, the first hit of the Black Moon in Virgo in exact opposition to Saturn. Already about these fears of failure, right? Financially, materially, intellectually, and then Saturn not making this easier. I do feel like, again, this will probably be the most difficult hit of the Black Moon energy that we have throughout the entire 9 months. So, we're going to make it, you guys. Like, it's definitely going to be fine, and we're going to be feeling a lot stronger coming out of this month of October. But strong projections of fears, weaknesses, inadequacies, victimhood, lack, failure, and things could really appear as though they are really failing on some like physical 3D situations. Like, there could be, like I was saying, you know, when I did my October overview, there could be some type of institutional or financial or just like systemic type of failures that are going on, you know, in terms of various systems in our lives, or in terms of the way that, you know, we are doing things, realizing like the way that I'm doing this isn't working for me anymore, or in terms of like habits or like lifestyles, routines, like this lifestyle, this habit, this way of doing it, like I just said, isn't working anymore. Or it could also have to do with, again, like these greater like structures and foundations in the overall world and the society and stuff like that. Financial, material, educational, health, medical, okay, with the Virgo themes as well. But despite the perceived or heightened sense of fear or failure or weakness that we may be experiencing Wednesday because of all this supercharged black moon energy, we do succeed if we stand up to whatever it is that, you know, has been holding us back, or that we've been limiting ourselves so that we didn't have to face, or that we've been hiding from, or, you know, running from, or whatever. It's in our best interest to assert ourselves along the lines of facing our fears, okay, and the energy on Wednesday. Now, moving into Thursday, the big news, of course, is that Mars is entering the sign of Scorpio. I've talked a lot about so far in this report. We're still in black moon energy, as the moon will still be transiting Virgo on Thursday. However, the moon is coming to the end of the sign of Virgo now, and will actually be forming an opposition to Neptune retrograde. This is a very like psychic and emotionally sensitive and intuitive day on Thursday because of Mars hitting the 0 degrees of Scorpio, and also this moon Neptune opposition. Heightened intuition, a good day to pay attention to and to follow intuitive hunches. Mars in the sign of Scorpio is a very like instinctual and like it's being able to act based on just a very strong intuitive urge or intuitive hunch or a gut instinct towards something. This is because we're talking about Mars, right? Which is our action, which is how we're behaving, which is what we're doing, which is, you know, our levels of motivation and stuff like that. And in the sign of Scorpio, I mean, Scorpio is just, it's this deeply like psychic and connected sign, and it has a lot to do with the gut instincts and like the just kind of like being able to pick up on the sixth sense or an intuitive like psychic knowing or impression about things. And when we have the energy functioning along the lines of almost being able to like sense and perceive what's coming in advance, it's not something that we should deny, okay? It's not something that we should sort of turn our back to. And especially also as we are moving more into this age of Aquarius energy, and sort of our spidey senses are being activated through some other energetic kind of things that are happening right now as well. It's just definitely in our best interest to hone this intuition and use it, like I've said, as a compass to sort of navigate what is going on as we move through this energy. Mars and Scorpio, we need to learn to trust our psychic impressions about stuff and use them as the guide for this next phase of growth in our journey right now, right? As I just got done saying, the things that are happening with Mars and Scorpio are directly related to the North Node transiting Aries right now, and who we're becoming next, the journey that we're going on right now. So, learning to become, right, our own leader, our own hero, our own warrior, which is the current destiny of humanity, while we have this 1.5-year transit of the North Node going through the sign of Aries, the sign of the leader, the sign of the warrior, the sign of the hero, the pioneer, the self. While we are all personally learning these skills and, you know, experiencing these archetypes in some way, in some area of our lives, trusting our gut and acting on our instincts is the like sort of like the next lesson in this phase of growth, and it's gonna bring us back to a sense of personal power as well, and again, this greater sense of trust and belief and confidence in ourselves, so that we need to be defined less by the group and more by our authentic truth. And moving into the age of Aquarius, you know, that's also a major part of this process of self-actualization, process of self-mastery. We can't be denying parts of ourselves in order to avoid, you know, disrupting some type of group cohesion or something like that. the cohesion in the group is beautiful, but the cohesion in the group should be a natural cohesion in the group as a result of, you know, true vibrational cohesion in the group, and not a fake facade of cohesion in the group as a result of everybody wearing masks and being too afraid to shake the boat to, like, you know, experience any sense of inner peace. Okay, we're not sacrificing any more inner peace for the peace and the social dynamic of things, because at this point in time that's really holding us back, and we cannot do and fulfill the role that universe is calling us towards right now if we're still doing that. So that's you know, I feel like a definite purpose behind some of this energy is coming through right now as well. But Mars and Scorpio, me personally, I do have Mars and Scorpio, so this is a very natural expression of energy for me, and it also has a lot to do, again, with like strategy and preparation, and being able to see how things come together in advance, you know, and therefore being able to think multiple steps ahead. And that's what we want to be doing in this energy. This is not just sort of rushing forward, rushing ahead. This is thinking everything through, you know, having plans, you know, A, B, C, and D, seeing all the multitude of possibilities and ways that each thing could unfold, and then like choosing the one that is going to put us in the best place or position in terms of what we are both ending and beginning, okay, at this point now. And we'll be talking a lot more about Mars and Scorpio, of course, as we move through this next couple of months. It takes Mars about 2 days to transit 1 degree, 30 degrees in each sign. So we're always looking, you know, there's retrogrades and stuff which messes things up, but on average it takes Mars about 2 months to transit any sign. So that's what we are looking at coming in for this next couple of months. Now, I will also say, okay, in the energy on Thursday, because of the Moon-Neptune opposition, Virgo and Pisces also going on, this is not a day for logic and reason. There are days for logic and reason. There are days for, you know, streamline, articulate ways of speaking and communicating and sharing information and dotting T's or dotting I's and crossing T's, and, you know, making sure everything is factual and accurate. This is just not one of those days. If you want somebody to have, you know, a logical, intellectual, fact-based conversation with you about something, good luck with that. I wouldn't set that expectation or that bar, okay? But if you want to have a conversation, a deep mystical conversation, okay, with somebody about like dreams or passions or fears or mysteries or fantasies or secrets, hunches, theories, strategies, plans, this could either turn into like a very revealing conversation or communication, or simultaneously like a very confusing or disorienting experience as well, depending on how things go. But it's probably going to be less frustrating if we're just not having the expectation of, you know, people really being like very accurate in whatever they're talking about. There could be a lot of like misunderstandings and stuff that are sort of going on in the energy as it's coming together on Thursday as well, because whenever we've got, you know, a Virgo moon specifically, or any Virgo planet, you know, Mercury, moon, even the sun, and in opposition to Neptune and Pisces, this is just definitely disorienting the informational field and the way that we're perceiving and dealing with facts and reality. So it could be a bit of a fantasy land going on, but it's also this very sensitive, very intuitive, very psychic energy where we want to be like tuning in and honing in on the, like, I don't know, like the raw instinctual energy that's coming to us somehow, okay? And the last thing that I really want to say about the energy on Thursday, with Mars entering the sign of Scorpio, this of course is putting Mars at 0 degrees of Scorpio, which is a water sign. And remember, you guys, I've been talking about how we also have Saturn right now at 0 degrees of Pisces, which is another water sign. So Mars entering Scorpio, this actually puts Saturn and Mars into an exact trine together that we're going to have going on for 2 days, Thursday and Friday, in water signs. Personally, I like Saturn and Mars when they're in a positive aspect together. This is master builder energy, is how I always refer to Saturn and Mars in positive facilitating aspects together, because Saturn, it brings concentration and it brings focus. It narrows our focus, and it also gives us endurance, okay? It helps us to take things seriously and to just be sort of like responsible and matter of fact and very grounded and practical about things. And Mars, this is our energy, right? This is what we're working on. This is what we're putting our energy into. This is how we're acting. This is how we're behaving. And when we have Mars and Saturn in the trine, to me, this is a very focused use of energy that if we are using it to build or create something is going to have some very, very amazing, like wonderful outcomes. So this is a very creative 2-day period of time, actually, where if you are actively working on a project, it will probably go quite well, especially also, you know, if there's like a visual component of it, if you need to visualize or, you know, within like your mind's eye or your inner vision. This is a manifestation energy as well on Thursday with the Neptune influence, the moon Neptune influence. That can be like a visionary influence, okay? Even between, you know, like I was saying, it's not good for like practical, logical, whatever, but it's very good for intuitively, like divine inspiration, or envisioning something like through our mind's eye, and through that process then with Mars and Saturn in the trine, being able to actually materialize, manifest, act in such a way that creates like a tangible outcome somehow that will be successful, that will be solid, that will be stable. However, I'll also say, you know, aside from the master builder quality of the Mars trine Saturn energy, this could equally honestly be functioning as like some type of master destroyer energy also, because of just where we're at right now, the Pluto energy and Mars moving into the sign of Scorpio, which is Pluto's sign. Again, this is the energy of like burning it all down but building it back up simultaneously. We're not afraid to hit the deconstruction button, but we are also not afraid to get our hands dirty and start building things literally like from the ground up when we have this Scorpio energy going on as well, especially, you know, with the Mars influence. Mars has been with the South Node, okay? This is about breaking things down. Mars has been in square with Pluto. This is about breaking things down, right? The things that have reached their limit, the things that cannot go on, the things that cannot be salvaged. This is destruction, but this is rebirth energy. Saturn is also retrograde right now in the sign of Pisces, which can also dissolve things and break things down. So master builder energy on one hand, but this could also very, very much double in this particular energy as master destroyer energy. Either way though, today and also Friday could be consciously focused for meticulous building or meticulous creation, or for meticulous disassembling or meticulous deconstruction, both purposeful, both productive uses of the energy today and as it's playing out this week. I will say though, don't make important decisions whenever we've got a Neptune influence going on with a luminary, with by harsh aspect. You know, or really any aspect, you know, the trines and sextiles can put us in a fantasy land too, maybe not best for making decisions. But whenever we've got a harsh aspect with Neptune, with the luminary, sun, moon, Mercury, whatever. And today, like I said, you know, this is the moon. This is not the day where you want to sign on a dotted line, where you want to make a major decision about something, where you want to, again, like expect a real layer of like level of coherence and things, you know, going according to like a linear, logical stream of thought and outcome, okay? And we also do have all this black moon energy going on. So people are likely not to be thinking super clearly this week. Like I said, there's a lot of things sort of coming up from the depths. There's a lot of opportunity for us to gain awareness of some of the more hidden aspects and dimensions of ourselves. Mars, the self, also moving into the sign of Scorpio, which is sign about all that is hidden, what is, you know, in secrets. Things to do with secrets, things to do with mysteries, things to do with research, things to do with like getting to the root, getting to the depth of things. This is also where a lot of our action or our energy is going to be oriented and geared over this next period of time as well. So all of that, you guys, that is what things are looking like for us moving through the midpoint this week and towards the new moon in Libra that's going to be happening on the 14th, which is also a very powerful solar eclipse that we're going to be talking about. That will actually be my next video. I'm going to put the new moon solar eclipse video out, and that this weekend is actually connected to 2017, the great eclipse, great American eclipse that we had in 2017 as well. So we have a lot more to talk about coming up with that, but that's where we're at midpoint this week. So all that being said, you guys, let's now get into our tarot message of the day. Like I mentioned earlier, very specific message coming out. Interesting stuff going on. Maybe this will apply specifically to one or two or a couple of you guys out there. Okay, so the first card that we have coming out is the Two of Swords, immediately followed by the King of Cups and the King of Wands. It looks like there's some choice that needs to be made. First of all, like there may be some of you that are literally having to decide between two different people, maybe like two different men even. One that perhaps provides a lot of like security and like emotional validation and understanding, and maybe one that is very like passionate and energized and really like makes you feel alive. Okay, you may feel like you're at a point we got to make a choice about something. And, you know, even if we take the personhood, you know, the two kings, usually court cards represent like people in our experiences, but of course they can also represent these archetypes, you know, like maybe we have to choose between the emotional security or pursuing our passions and that which makes us feel alive. And, you know, these being kings, this is a where we're going to derive our power from, okay? You know, maybe that's something that we're struggling to make a choice from right now, but this is, like I said, very specific. We're talking about a Two of Swords. We're talking about having to make a blind or a difficult choice, or a choice maybe where we feel like we don't have all the information, or we're not seeing things exactly clearly, or we are like just something is like shrouded from our vision or our understanding in some type of way, or maybe we feel caught in between, you know, this emotional security and stability and like deriving our sense of self-empowerment from that, and the need to go in our own direction or pursue a passion or chase something that inspires us. And that. So that's what this is saying. And then the next cards that we had coming out were actually the Ten of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. But like there's some vision or there's some dream of fulfillment that we're holding on to simultaneously. Now, this could be something from the past that we're holding on to that is keeping us sort of in the suspended animation, unable to make that choice or decision. Or this could be what is propelling us forward to choose one way or the other. But it seems as though there is like an ideal or like a sense of like almost like wish fulfillment, but fulfillment on some level, on an emotional level. Like true fulfillment is what we're looking for, is what we're holding on to, is what we want to be the outcome of whichever one of these decisions that we make. And for those of you, maybe if this really is, maybe if you really are caught in between, you know, two different love interests right now, or there are like two men or, you know, two different kind of like archetypal figures in your life right now, you know, maybe you really are like trying to choose which one you think is going to lead you to this more fulfilling outcome on an emotional level somehow. So it's like, is it choosing the emotional validation and the security and the sense of power that comes from that, or is it the like ambition and the passion and the creative force and the fire and the fulfillment perhaps that could come from that? But it's like we're not willing to let go of what we know we deserve, what we know we could have, what we know could be. Okay, like if we make the right choice, if we swing the sword in the right direction. Okay, and then on the back of the deck, it's sort of just like furthering this idea. It's talking about the need to, we had these exact two same cards come out in the last reading. This is the third reading in a row that the Wheel of Fortune has come out, you guys. And that is, you know, the chances of that happening are so slim and minuscule. There's definitely a layer of fate. There are things changing. The decisions that we make now, you know, whatever we're cutting ourselves free from, and again, this is the relationship dynamics of the past. This may have been the people or the emotional connections that we derived a sense of fulfillment and wholeness and pleasure and like celebrating and stuff with in the past, but for whatever reason, it's just not a good match for us anymore. I don't know, but this is talking about the Three of Cups in reverse. This is talking about, you know, breaking free perhaps from a friend group or from like all of this Libra South Node energy, like the relationships that have defined us in the past, or dumping some version, like some letting go of some emotional attachment to something that we used to really enjoy. Okay, but it's the hand of God, right? We've got the Wheel of Fortune here again, third day coming out on the back of the deck with the Three of Cups in reverse. The changes that we're making in relationship dynamics right now are really going to change the nature of the course of our lives going forward. So I don't know, you guys, what's it going to be? Is it going to be the King of Cups or is it going to be the King of Wands? Are we going to choose the King of Cups or the King of Wands to either be or to have? I don't know, but regardless, our motivation is coming from the right place. This desire to have something better and more fulfilling for ourselves. It really looks like there needs to be changes in terms of the way that we are relating to people in our lives and what we're even engaging in, okay? To move us, to make the necessary changes and move us forwards towards that Ten of Cups. So that's what I got to say about the tarot today, you guys. Let's grab one more card now. Synchronicity message. God, Spirit, Universe, what do we need to know? What's going on? What advice can help us as we are midway through this week, heading towards this weekend and this big eclipse, new moon in Libra, sign of relationships that we have coming up. It says love equals respect. And we also got the no card coming out. We just had two cards fly out. So if there's something that you've been thinking about as I've been talking, if there's a yes or no question you've been sort of juggling in your head, the answer to that for you might be no, okay, in this moment. But let's read our card. Love equals respect. The children of this world are given in marriage, Luke 20:34. God is love, and when true love in the heart unite a man and a woman, it is God joining a couple. When difficulties and arguments occur, dissolve the problem in the light of God's love. Love, goodwill, and understanding are the keys to all human understanding. Respect one another. Refusing to treat one another with respect will cause more harm than any other act. And of course, you know, as we are ending Mars's transit of the sign of Libra and this more conflict-oriented relational energy, I was saying earlier, you know, this may be sort of a day where things sort of blow up along those lines, and this is universe reminding us where we need to be, what our stance needs to be, what our vibration needs to be, and how we need to be coming at perhaps the relational things going on throughout this couple of days. So love equals respect, you guys. We want to have respect for ourselves, and we want to therefore be sort of like a mechanism that vibrates respect into this various scenarios that are playing out in our lives, and it will benefit us as we're moving through this energy. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to stop talking now. Message from the stars, message from the cards. Hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think they would be into this type of astrology content, like this type of thing as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate knowing how these energies are affecting you guys out there. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. Love you guys so much. If you want to know what's on these whiteboards, I post them in my Facebook group, which is linked in my description box below. I have a Facebook page and an Instagram down there as well if you're interested in that. And come back with me, you guys. Like I said, next video out is going to be the new moon in Libra video, and this is also an eclipse. So lots more astrology astrology coming at you guys. I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you next time, guys. Have a very beautiful midweek, and until then, bye.